What's up, everybody? I'm going to go ahead and get started here. I want to kind of get through this pretty quick. That way you can go ahead and get started. I don't want to waste any more of your time. And I'm already going to be using up this afternoon, so let's go ahead and let you know a little bit more about me. My name is Matthew Pete. I started out as a graphic designer in college. I went to do graphic design because wasn't able to go to a video production school, and then I realized, hey, why don't I start my own thing? So I started doing some video production. And once I started getting into it and knowing that's the direction I wanted to go, I wanted to build a website. So I was in a coding class due to my graphic design career. We kind of touched on that in a couple classes, so I figured I'd code my own website. And after hours spent trying to code my own website and that failing and just not going the way I wanted it to, I feel like my website was so bad I was actually turning people away. I decided to explore other routes, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in here. But this is going to be all about WordPress. I feel like WordPress is the way to go. It has the most flexibility and functionality. It can really kind of hit on whatever area that you need it to. But I'll give out some of my recommendations. But I started No Pixel Too Small because the way I see it is, as a videographer, we're going to run into a lot of problems trying to start our own stuff up. You know, whether you're doing video, photography, you just want to have a website, you want to start a blog, that's what No Pixel Too Small is. But, you know, I want everybody to know that it's the small details, it's the little pixels that make up the bigger picture of your life. And I want to be able to touch on all of that in my blog. So there's no problem too small, there's no pixel too small. So I just want to be able to touch on everything and help everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. If you're here to know how to learn how to set up a website without knowing any code, you're in the right place. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, to get started, you're going to need three things. The first one, you're going to need a theme and a template. And if you're not taking notes, you might want to. This will be on a replay. If you sign up, you can click on the sign me up button on the right side of the page, and I'll send out the reminders for everybody to get the replay tomorrow as soon as it's posted. But the first thing you need is a theme or a template. And in WordPress, if you work with WordPress a lot, then you're going to know what that is. That's just what they call what it looks like with the coding in the back end. We'll talk more of that in a minute. Number two, what you're going to need is a domain name, the URL, whatever people type into the search bar to get to your website. And the third thing is a host, and I'll touch on that a little bit more later. It's pretty simple and straightforward. It's just someone to hold your website so when people type in the URL, it actually pulls something up. All right, so the theme. What is a theme? It is the code that drives the site. So all the hard work is done. You don't have to do any of the code. There are some things called short code in there, but it's pretty much drag and drop. You don't have to worry about going into the PHP and the CSS and all that kind of stuff. It's already done for you. So essentially it just tells your website what it looks like, and that's why there's so many different ones. Just like coding a website, it's going to look different. Whenever they code the WordPress theme, it's going to look different. So that's why you got to shop around a little bit and see what you like. Now, where do you get a theme? Whenever I started off, I went to a few different places, and I ended up settling with themeforest.net. For me, it has thousands of WordPress themes. I remember whenever you go to themeforest.net, make sure you search under the WordPress themes, not the HTML themes, because if you do that, then you're going to be stuck dealing with code, and nobody wants that problem. So go to themeforest.net. The theme that I recommend is called InVision. It's responsive. It has a great back-end builder. It is awesome. It's the theme that I used. I use it on repeatproductions.com. I use it on No Pixel Too Small. I've used a few of them. So this is the one. I actually had one for No Pixel Too Small, and I tried making it work. You know, I figured I'd do something different and start fresh, and I tried to make it work. I even contacted the person who made it and tried to get them to fix it. It just would not work. So after hours, literally like 12 or 13 hour day, trying to get this thing to display a simple blog post, I was just like, you know what, forget it. I'm going to go back, bought another theme, another license for the InVision theme, and I just uploaded that, and I went with that. It looks completely different from my Repeat Productions website, my video production website, but it's the same exact theme. That's what I love about it. It's so simple and so versatile. You can use it on many different levels. So if you don't want to use InVision, then make sure you get a theme that's responsive. So if you see there on the picture, it has a picture of a laptop, an iPad, and an iPhone. Whenever you use it on a different size screen, it's going to automatically adjust to that size screen so it looks great on any device. So make sure that the theme you get is responsive. Actually, Google is doing an update now. I believe it's called Hummingbird, where if your website is not responsive, they're starting to penalize you in SEO organic search results. So you want to make sure that your site's responsive so that you're not getting penalized by Google. So that's a good thing to look out for. Also, make sure your theme has a great backend editor. It makes life a lot easier. The first theme I ever used, I came from coding. I got it. It was a completely short code based theme, which at the time I was like, this is amazing. I don't have to code anything. It's just short code, and I hit generate, and it comes up with the code, and I put it in there. It's nice to have short code, but you don't want to build an entire site off of it. It still took me days to get that site looking somewhat what I wanted it to look like, and it was still glitchy when I got it finished. So if you're going to look at other sites, make sure to get one with a great backend editor. And there's a bunch of different backend editors out there. This one is essentially drag and drop. You select, like if you want to add text, you select the text block, you hit edit, and you type in the text you want. If you want an image, you select the image widget, and you plug in an image there. It makes life a lot easier. So moving on, we're going to talk about the domain name and host, because you can get both of those from the same place. Now, I had somebody in the chat ask me a minute ago CarShots asked me if he has a domain name with somebody else, can he still use that if he leaves? The answer is yes. I have a website that I was going to work on. It didn't work out, but I got the original domain name from a place called iPage. And once I realized that I didn't want to go with them, I decided to switch over to Bluehost, but my URL is still hosted through iPage. Essentially what you're going to do is go into your current host, which I believe you said Vistaprint. I didn't know they did hosting, but you can go on there, contact them, tell them you want to point your domain name. It's called pointing. You want to point it to another server. So if you switch over, you can just tell them, hey, I've decided to switch hosts. This is the host I'm going with. I need it to point to this server. You can still have it on there. Just have it to automatically renew your domain name every year so it doesn't go up for bid and auction and you lose your domain name. But you can have it point, or another option is to get the EPP code, and you can transfer the domain over to your new host. So either one of those are option. And I know if you go with Bluehost, they'll help you do that. Bluehost has some of the best customer service. But domain name and host, like I said, Bluehost, I went with them for a few reasons. One, they have outstanding support. You can have unlimited domain hosting, and your first domain is free. So like I said, if you already have a domain name, get another one and have it point to it. So, but like I said, Bluehost, they have their outstanding support. You can call them 24/7. They're going to give you help. There's none of that upselling, like, we can help you with this, but if you want to go further, you're going to have to pay a certain charge. There's no upselling on your calls. They'll just help you because you're a member of their site and use them for hosting. Unlimited domain name hosting, it might not sound important, but if you're like me, I think I have 10 domains on my host account right now, which, some of them are pointing, some of them are actually websites. It just gives me a way to store them all. I don't have to worry about paying more money to host more domains. So that was a really big selling point for me. Now, there are some other great hosts out there you can check out if Bluehost doesn't fit your needs. So you can check out these. There's iPage, which if you want to do something super simple for really cheap, iPage, I think it's like $2 a month. It's really great. GoDaddy's a go-to, and HostGator, Made Simply. I've used iPage and Made Simply before, and they're both really great hosts, but I set it on Bluehost just because of it matched up with what I needed. So that's what I ended up going with. All right, next, we're going to talk about signing up with Bluehost. If you don't want to sign up with Bluehost, some of this information is going to be irrelevant. If you do, then this will help. So you can either call or you don't call. It's that simple. If you want to call, here's the number. Now, their wait times can be a little long. So, have something there to work on so you can be productive. I called last Monday and I had a 30-minute wait time. It's a little ridiculous in my opinion. And then when I got there, I realized I had called the wrong number, which was on me. So I had to be transferred for another 20 minutes. But then I called later that week on like a Thursday morning, and I literally called and went directly to a person, and there was no wait time at all. So it kind of just depends on when you call. So if you call one time and it's a huge wait time, it's not always like that, I promise. But when you get them on the line, they're going to be extremely helpful, and they're going to do everything they can to get you the service that you need. Now, if you don't want to call, on their homepage, there's a Get Started Now button. You can click Get Started Now and, Get Started Now. And it walks you through the steps. So it couldn't be any more easy for you to give them your money. I mean, that they want that. They're going to make it as easy as possible to get this thing started. So just follow the steps. That's where you set up your domain name. It's going to give you the free domain. It'll check it for you, make sure it's available. And then just go through that process and you're set up. I mean, you don't even have to be on the phone with somebody. It's really great. Now, anywhere you go when you're picking out your domain name, pick one that's easy to spell and it's obvious. I really wanted to hit on this because I didn't do that when I set up my first domain name. My first one was called repeatproductions.com. It's a play on my last name. My last name's Peet, P-E-E-T, so it's spelled R-E-P-E-E-T, Productions. Now, whenever you're telling somebody, hey, go check out my work at repeatproductions.com, it's spelled R-E-P-E-E-T, not P-E-A-T, because it's a play on my last name, it gets a little ridiculous. Nobody wants to hear that, and you don't want to have to say that every time. So what I ended up doing is actually I went and bought 2 new domains called Repeat Videos, spelled both ways. So if somebody did know the name of my company, they'd know to spell it Repeat, like my last name. If they didn't, they put Repeat as R-E-P-E-A-T. It'll take you to repeatproductions.com anyway. But when you're picking out a domain, make sure it's easy to spell and it's obvious. Like No Pixel Too Small, I have No Pixel Too Small. I think there's 4 different domains for it. And any way you spell the word "to," it's going to take you to my website. So definitely something to remember whenever you're getting that set up. So now we're going to talk about setting up your WordPress. This is the biggest thing. Just want to try to move through this quickly so you can get on your way and get your site going. But after you've had your hosting purchase and your domain name set up, you're on the next step. So log into your bluehost.com or other host account, and it'll take you to your control panel, or your cPanel is what it's called. Now, if it doesn't, not every host will take you straight to the control panel. Some, you log in, there's a back end of your website where you can deal with the billing and all that kind of stuff. Find a way, find out where they have their control panel. It should be pretty obvious because that's a huge part. That's where you're going to set up your WordPress account. So just go ahead and navigate over to the cPanel. Under the website tab, whenever you're on your cPanel, you're going to click Install WordPress. So right here. This is what cPanel looks like. It doesn't matter what host you have. cPanel is the back end of your WordPress or of your site that's going to drive your site. So you see here I've highlighted Install WordPress up under the website tab. That's what you're going to want to click on to install it. It's going to take you to this page right here. Do it yourself free is what I opted to do. Click Install, not Import. It's going to install the new WordPress version 4.2.2. Now, when you get to this page, select your website domain. Like I said, I have 10 on my site, so when I click that drop-down arrow, there's a whole list of domain names. Select which one you want to install WordPress on, and leave the directory box empty. That's just how it has to be. It's pretty straightforward. When you get to this next page, there's going to be 2 boxes here. One says Show Advanced Options, and the other one says I have read the terms and conditions of GPL v2. Neither one is going to be checked. So you want to check on the first one where it says Show Advanced Options first. Under site name or title, go ahead and give it that name. Under mine, I put No Pixel Too Small. And then for the admin and user, you're going to want to set that up and remember it. Do not forget your admin username and password. That is the admin username and password that you're going to use to sign into your WordPress anytime you want to do any editing. So it's important that you remember that. I use an app on my iPhone called Passcodes. It's $5 or $6, and it saves every password I have. I would suggest getting that if you're bad with passwords like I am. That way you only have to remember one, and it's got them all saved in there. Moving on. After you've done that, you put in your site name and title, admin user, and password. Go down and check. I have read the terms and conditions of GPL v2. Like I said, because I'm sure it means something important. I honestly have never read it. If you want to read it, it's highlighted whenever you're going to set it up. Click it and read through it. I've never been sued for anything I've done on WordPress, so hopefully that'll hold up. Moving on, click Install now after you've checked that and you've filled it out, and you'll be moving on to installing your WordPress. So there you go, you've installed it. To log into your site, you're going to go to www.yourdomain.com/wp/admin. So whenever you want to log into your WordPress, this is where you're going to go. So I go to nopixel2small.com/wp-admin, and it brings me to my login page. And yeah, I would make a bookmark of that. That way you don't have to type it in every time you want to go to it. You can just click on it, and it'll take you straight there. To sign in, you're going to use the username, password we just set up. We talked about to log into the back end. So that's important. Like I said, just write that down somewhere. Now, installing your theme. Let's see here. You're going to go to the vertical menu on the left side of your screen. In all WordPress sites, the back end, this is what it's going to look like. And this is what the back end of mine looks like. It'll change depending on what plugins and widgets you install. Like you can see, I have lead pages on the side of mine because that's one of the plugins I have installed. You're going to go over to the vertical menu on your screen, hover over Appearances, and click Themes. In the next screen, it's in the top left-hand corner, it's going to have a button that says Add Themes. On that page, there's going to be 2013, 2014, and 2015 themes that are free. So if you want to use any of those, you're more than welcome to. They're very basic. They don't give you a lot of different flexibility options, but they're there. But if you want to add the theme, if you chose to go with InVision, top left-hand corner, you click Add Theme. You're going to upload the InVision.zip file. If you chose to go with InVision. If you didn't, then, I know there's one out there called Clio, that kind of stuff. It's whatever .zip is the file you're going to upload. You can't upload a folder or anything. It has to be a zip file, and you don't want to upload just one of the files at a time. That would, one, be ridiculously long to upload everything, and then it would just be too glitchy. So make sure inside of that folder that you downloaded your theme with is going to be your theme.zip. So just go ahead and click choose on that one and hit upload. Now we're going to get into setting it up. We're actually very close to being done. I'm trying to get through this quickly to help you out as quickly as possible. If you have any questions, just go ahead and send them in. To activate your theme, go under Appearance Themes, where we just now were, if you already have it, and under the theme it'll say Activate. You can click that if you didn't activate it as soon as you installed it. Now, with mine, it directed me straight to InVision's dashboard. If it doesn't, then go to that vertical menu we looked at a minute ago on the left-hand side of your screen and go down to the very bottom, and it'll have your theme on that vertical bar under InVision. So go ahead and go to that, and as soon as you pull it up, there's going to be it'll say Install Demo Content. I suggest installing the demo content because if you look on the themeforest.net, when you're there, you can load the live preview of the WordPress site and it shows how awesome the site is. It shows all the great contents and everything. If you install the demo content, it's a great way to get a head start on creating your homepage. If nothing else, it also helps with the blog page. It shows you how you can do different layouts. I suggest doing that just so you have some stuff to look through, and it kind of gives you a good starting place whenever you're creating your content. All you have to do is go in and change the words. I mean, I did it and it saved me hours. I had my WordPress site up within a couple days from start to finish, ready to launch. So definitely I would suggest installing the demo content. Don't edit anything before you install that demo content. It says that it can erase stuff if you install the demo content after you've already created your own homepage or whatever. So if you're going to install the demo content, do that as soon as you get your theme installed, just to prevent you losing any content. Alright, now we're going to set up your homepage and blog. And what this does is it tells your WordPress site that any settings relating to your homepage or your blog page, whenever you change them, these are the pages it's going to affect. So right now, under your pages, your WordPress is just seeing a bunch of different stuff. So you want to tell it, okay, this is the homepage I'm using, and this is the page that I want my posts to go to. So you're going to hover over Appearance again, and this time click Customize. You're going to see your website come up, your homepage, whatever it's seeing is that, whatever it's sending out as your homepage with your theme installed. You're going to see that, and on the left side, there's going to be another menu. On the left side at the bottom, it's going to have a thing called Static Front Page. Click that and select a static page because you don't want all of your posts, unless you want all of your posts to just be like your blog posts going to your main page, then select a static page. Now, select which page you want to be your home page and which page you want to be your blog page. You can change it later if you change your mind. If you want to go with a different layout and you have a different page setup you want to go to, just go back to Appearance, Customize, and change it to whatever page. But, for the sake of speed, just go there. It'll say home page, select the drop down arrow, select the page you want, and then it'll say post page. Click the drop down arrow and select your blog page. That way it knows which is which. Alright, now I'm going to give you some simple direction. Once you've got all of this set up so far, you've got your theme, you've got your hosting, your domain name, you've installed WordPress, you've installed your theme. You're pretty much ready to add content, add your brand to the website. And you're almost there. This can be done in an afternoon easily. Simple direction. On the vertical menu, the tab on the left called Pages, that's where you're going to go to edit your homepage, your blog page, your contact page, About Us, if you want to have a pricing page, that kind of stuff. all of those pages, the demo pages that you imported, are going to be under the pages section on that left vertical bar. So when you want to edit a page or add a page, something like that, go to that pages section, select all pages. If you want to add a new one, there's a hover over it and there's a quick add. But that's where you're going to go to do all your major changes. Posts is where you go to create blog posts. Once you post a blog, it'll be added to your blog page that we set up earlier, telling it, this is your blog site. But if you want to do posts, if you want to do blog posts, some people don't want to do blogs, but that's where you're going to go to set up your blog posts. You go in there and create each one of them. It's very similar to your page's layout, but it's specifically for your blog. There's also a tab over there if you get InVision for portfolio use. And if you want to set up a portfolio like I did for Repeat Productions with my videos on there, you can do that. It's very responsive for portfolios. You can have the grid layout, the single post layout, all kind of stuff. It's very user friendly. But pages, posts, and portfolios is what you need to know. That's where you go to edit all your major stuff. Also, you can filter your blog posts by using categories with WordPress. So if you look, whenever you're creating a post, on the right hand side of your page, there's going to be a section called categories, and you can add categories in there. So like No Pixel Too Small, I'm starting to filter things out with pre-production, production, and post-production. That way I'm going to set up pages, and if I have people come on there, if they only want to learn something from pre-production, from building a website, setting up business cards, that kind of stuff, they can click on that section and then it'll go right to everything from my pre-production category. So it really narrows it down, helps the user, your reader or follower, better navigate through your site. So I would suggest using those and checking it out. All right, now here's a tip that took me a little while to learn. For your contact page, use Contact Form 7. I searched around for hours. If you go on to the plugin section on WordPress and click Add Plugin and type in Contact Page, you're going to have a lot of contact page things come up, and I'm sure there are some other great ones out there, but most themes, and I've seen a lot of people just using Contact Form 7 because it's simple and it's free. You don't really need that much complexity to it. Now, if you're a wedding videographer or a photographer, something like that, you might use ShootQ, which you can link up and just have that as your contact page. But if not, Contact Form 7 is the way to go. To generate tags, this is what your contact form is going to look like whenever you pull it up. It's going to have the text on the side, so you see your name. The text star, your name, is where the box is, where they're going to enter their stuff. But I kept overlooking this when I was trying to customize my form. I was like, I don't know any code. I'm not going to be able to do this. It's super annoying. On the right-hand side, there's a thing called Generate Tag. You see it highlighted. It's not drop down whenever you go on there, so you have to click that to drop it down. Other than that, it's just a giant empty space. So it's super confusing if you don't know to click that. But you go in there, click Generate Tag, and you're going to come down here. You can see my cursor. Go down to CAPTCHA. You want to install a CAPTCHA. That is one thing you want to make sure you do. The CAPTCHA, if you've ever had to type in the list of numbers or letters or whatever you see in the box to prove that you're a human, that's what that does. For the longest time, I didn't have that installed on my video production website, and you get a ton of spam mail. Just fills up your inbox, and it becomes a hazard, and it probably slows down your WordPress site to an extent once you get so many spam filters coming through. So make sure to set up that CAPTCHA if nothing else. Down below that is the email section where you can customize the email that gets sent to you, so you can see all this information and how you want it displayed. It's pretty straightforward. Spells it out for you, but if you need any other help, just let me know. But yeah, that was how to set up a website, and I believe under 30 minutes. That was, getting your theme, getting your host and domain name. Like I said, if you already have a host and you want to transfer it, it's called the EPP code if you want to transfer your domain name, or you can just have it pointed. Mine, I believe, one of my main ones is still pointing from iPage. I didn't really see a reason to have to go through and transfer it over as long as I can point it to my new server. Again, InVision is the theme I use. I recommend it. The guy who created it, his name is Orqun, O-R-Q-U-N, and when I was setting up No Pixel Too Small, I was having an issue where my blog posts weren't displaying the pictures on the homepage that I had linked up. So I created a login account for him, and while I was asleep one night, he logged into my website, went in and fixed whatever was wrong with it, and now whenever I post a blog, it shows up on my homepage like it's supposed to with a picture. I don't know what he did to it, but I mean, I just told him what was wrong. He told me to give him the login information. He went in there and fixed it for me. So I mean, he has great customer service. He has a website full of a forum full of questions and answers to help you out if you get stuck on anything. But yeah, if you have any more questions, I will be posting the replay tomorrow at 8 a.m. on my blog on nopixel2small.com. If you sign up on this page right now, you can click sign me up and put your email address in there, and I'll email you the link to it tomorrow, along with the replay video of this will be on there in case you just want to listen to it again. Just kind of get through it quickly. If you click the logo at the top of this page, it'll give you the opt-in form, so I can remind you about it. Also, if I have any future webinars coming up, I'll probably be covering a lot of production stuff too. So if you're interested in doing any video stuff, video promotion, that kind of stuff, I'll be going over some of that in some future posts. But as for right now, I believe that is all. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them now, or hit me up on Facebook, or post them in the comments section on the blog tomorrow. I'll be moderating through that to help everybody out. But as for now, I believe that's it, and I'm going to let y'all go so you can get to creating your websites.